Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SM's 2017 Annual Stockholders Meeting. As you registered earlier, I hope you were able to secure a copy of our two reports for 2016. The first is the SM Investments Annual Report, where we provide you with your company's operational and financial performance for 2016, as well as SM's plans for 2017. The second report is our Environmental, Social and Governance Report. This is our third year to produce this report, which highlights all the sustainability initiatives of SM and its subsidiaries. Sustainability is an integral part of all that we do at SM to ensure the well-being not only of our customers, employees and investors, but more so of our host communities and the environment. We ensure that they benefit and grow with our businesses, and the ESG report contains details of our endeavors in all these areas. At this point, allow me to introduce to you the members of the Board of Directors. Mr. Henry C. Sr., Chairman of the Board. Ms. Teresita C. Cosson, Vice Chairperson. Mr. Henry C. Jr., Vice Chairman. Mr. Harley C., President and Director. Mr. Jose T. Sho, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. Our independent directors, Mr. Joseph R. Higdon, Mr. R. Du Lim, and Ms. Tomasa Lepagna, who joined the board in 2016. Also present are attorney Elma Serrano, our corporate secretary, and attorney Marianne Guerrero, our assistant corporate secretary. From senior management, we have Mr. Frederick DeBuncio, Executive Vice President, and Mr. Franklin Gomez, Senior Vice President for Finance. Ms. Elizabeth C., the President of SM Hotels and Conventions. Mr. Hans C., Board Director at SM Prime Holdings. Mr. Herbert C., who spearheads SM's food retail business. Attorney Corazon Mirando. Mr. Roberto Manabat. And attorney Serafin Salvador Jr. Allow me also to acknowledge the presence of Mrs. Felicidad C. May I now give the floor to SM's Vice Chairman, Mr. Henry C. Jr., who will preside this afternoon's meeting.
The meeting will now come to order. On behalf of the Board of the Directors and Management of SM Investment Corporation, I welcome all of you and thank you for your presence at this annual stockholders meeting. The first order of business is for the Secretary to please certify to the sending of notices and existence of a quorum.
Mr. Chairman, notices of the meeting together with a definitive information statement of the corporation were sent beginning March 28, 2017 to stockholders of record as of March 27, 2017 by personal delivery and by mail, as well as published in the Manila Bulletin, the Business World, and Philippine Star on April 3, 2017. Based on the record of attendance, the stockholders attending this meeting in person and by proxy represent 1,034,281,075 common shares, constituting 85.86% of the total outstanding capital stock of the corporation as of record date March 27, 2017. Mr. Chairman, I therefore certify that a quorum is present for the transaction of business by the stockholders. Mr. Chairman, we would also like to inform the stockholders that CICIP Gores and Velayo and Company, the corporation's external auditor, is present and has been engaged to monitor and validate the tally of votes cast.
The next order of business is the approval of minutes of the annual stockholders meeting held on April 27, 2016. Mr. Secretary, have the stockholders been furnished with the copies of the minutes of the meeting?
Yes, Mr. Chairman. Copies of the minutes of the stockholders meeting held last April 27, 2016 were furnished to all shareholders.
The floor is now open for a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of the stockholders held on April 26, 2017. The floor is now open for a motion to approve the minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I am Jerome Brian Marcelo, proxy for Roda Lazaro, and I move that the minutes of the annual stockholders meeting last April 27, 2016 be approved, and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of such approval.
Good afternoon. I am Perpetua Ngo, proxy for Tony King. I second the motion.
Is there any objection? There being no objection, the motion is carried, and the minutes of the meeting on the stockholders held on April 27, 2016 are hereby approved. The next order of business is a presentation of the President's annual report. May I call on our EVP, Frederick Tibuncio, to deliver the 2016 annual report on behalf of the corporate's president, Mr. Harley T.C.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. 2016 was another remarkable year for SM Investments Corporation. A strong macro environment provided momentum to the company's growth, which benefited our core businesses in retail, banking, and property development. GDP grew 6.9%, while the economy continued to find strength from traditional sources of growth, such as OFW remittances in the BPO sector, which drove the growth of personal consumption to 7%. New growth drivers emerged, such as the 8.4% increase in government spending, and more notably, the 40.7% increase in foreign direct investments, both of which are strong generators of jobs. The inflation environment stayed benign, allowing interest rates to remain at mid-single-digit levels. This environment was good for our businesses. Let me start by sharing with you the key milestones of the company this last year. Foremost is the completion of the merger of its department stores and food retailing business with a number of leading local specialty retail chains. This has created the largest and most diversified retail portfolio in the country today. The merger allows us to serve a wider range of consumer needs as we expand across the country and to participate in higher growth and higher margin specialty retailing sectors. In February, we opened our five-star hotel, the Conrad Manila, with its grand lobby, 1,000-seat ballroom, function rooms, 347 guest rooms, and stunning views of Manila Bay. This luxury hotel has hosted many events and important guests in the last 12 months, including delegates of ASEAN meetings and the Miss Universe contestants. In banking, BDO Unibank completed the integration of One Network Bank, a leading rural bank it acquired in Mindanao. ONB extends our banking footprint in the underrepresented southern region of the Philippines. It also provides BDO with a vehicle for inclusive lending. One Network Bank has taken early steps to develop new microfinance lending products to bring underserved customers into the banking system and to promote financial inclusion. To fund some of our activities, last year we raised 20 billion pesos from an offering of 7-year retail bonds with a fixed rate of 5.159% per annum. The issue was oversubscribed and obtained a AAA rating from Field Ratings Corp. Looking at SM Investments' financial results for 2016, the company's revenues increased 9% to 362.8 billion pesos, while the company's net earnings grew 8% to 31.2 billion. Our growth reflected the increased contribution of retail after the merger and also the results of our property business, which delivered aggressive expansion in malls and residential projects. Property contributed 39% to our consolidated net income, while banking contributing 37% and retail 24% respectively. Our enlarged retail business grew its revenues 8.4% to 276.5 billion pesos, driven by 7.2% growth in department store revenues, 7.7% in food, and 11.7% in specialty retailing. Its net income grew 7.4% to 10.6 billion pesos. Under our department store business with the SM store, we opened 4 new stores, bringing our total to 57 stores with a total gross selling area of over 745,000 square meters. In food retail, we expanded all our formats with particular focus on countryside expansion through our mid-size and small format stores. We opened 22 Save More stores, 3 SM supermarkets, 1 SM hypermarket, 7 Walter Mart stores, and 111 Alpha Mart stores in 2016, of which 80% were outside Metro Manila. Our newly integrated specialty retail chains opened an additional 153 stores during the year, expanding their footprint by 14%. So that, at year-end 2016, our retail footprint encompassed 2.6 million square meters of gross selling area nationwide and comprised 2,303 outlets. In property, SM Prime posted recurring net income growth of 13.9% to 23.8 billion in 2016. Consolidated revenues increased 11.6% to 79.8 billion pesos, driven by growth in sales of residential units and rental revenues generated from new malls and commercial buildings. In terms of revenue contribution, rental income from malls accounted for the lion's share of 61%, with 30% from residential, 3% from commercial, and 6% from hotels and convention centers and others. SM Prime's market capitalization increased by over 30% last year, making it one of the top 2 listed companies in the Philippines, along with SM Investments. SM Prime opened 4 malls: SM City San Jose del Monte in Bulacan, SM City Trece Martires in Cavite, and in Metro Manila, SM City East Ortigas and SM Cherry Congressional. With 60 malls in the Philippines and 7 in China, today our total floor plate has reached 9 million square meters. Revenues were also boosted by the residential group led by SM Development Corporation, which grew 13% in 2016 with brisk sales take-up in ready-for-occupancy units. At the end of the year, the residential business had 33 projects in the market, mostly in Metro Manila and with 2 in Tagaytay. Meanwhile, commercial properties increased its revenues by 32% to 2.7 billion. Hotels and convention centers also had a very good year, with revenues increasing by 30% to 3.5 billion. Moving on to banking, our banks, BDO and China Bank, both grew strongly during the year. BDO's net interest income increased by 15.2% to 65.6 billion pesos. Its loan book was up 16% to 1.5 trillion, while its deposits increased by 15% to 1.9 trillion. BDO posted net income of 26.1 billion, up 4.3%. BDO is the country's largest bank with 1,104 branches and 3,655 ATMs, but it is also highly prudent and very well capitalized. Capital adequacy ratio stood at 12.4%. Its non-performing loans last year held steady at a low 1.3%, and its provisions were at 139% of NPLs. Meanwhile, China Bank's net interest income grew 10.7% to 16.7 billion pesos, driven by strong growth in loans. Lending grew 24% to 393.7 billion in gross customer loans, and deposits rose 23% to 541.6 billion pesos. In 2016, China Bank posted a net income of 6.5 billion, up by 15.3%. Its balance sheet also remains strong and well capitalized, with a capital adequacy ratio of 12.2%. Our strong financial performance in 2016 came hand in hand with our equally strong commitment to our environmental, social, and governance responsibilities. We continue to integrate and embed sustainability programs in all our operations to ensure the long-term growth of SM's businesses and its host communities. Our third group-wide ESG report has now been published, and we have aligned it with Global Reporting Initiative standards. It discusses in detail our many milestones in sustainability, and our ESG reporting received several awards and positive ratings in the last year. We continue to align our corporate social responsibility and sustainability programs with the 17 Sustainable Development Goals set by United Nations. We focus our efforts particularly in 4 key areas, namely education, health and wellness, zero hunger through farmers training, and environmental sustainability. Our recent efforts in these areas extend right across the group. SM Prime is committed to disaster resilience and helps lead UN Arise, the United Nations Private Sector Alliance for Disaster Resilient Societies. SM Retail supported a campaign by the Department of Agriculture to uplift farmers' lives by sourcing products directly from farmers to the shelves of its supermarkets. BDO took a leading role in green financing, setting up the first green facility with the Japan Bank for International Cooperation to fund projects that help lower greenhouse gas emissions. BDO also launched the first ESG-themed unit investment trust fund in the country that invests in local companies that support ESG practices. SM Foundation remains committed to its social investments in education, healthcare, farmers training, and disaster response and rehabilitation. It achieved a milestone in its scholarship program in 2016 when it awarded 1,073 scholarship grants for technical vocational courses, on top of its 1,236 college scholarship grants. And as a group, we also completed a turnover of 1,000 disaster-resilient homes in areas hardest hit by Typhoon Yolanda, also known as Haiyan. These villages are located in Bogo, Cebu, Concepcion, Iloilo, Tacloban, and Ormoc, Leyte. SM remains committed to sustainability and to being a catalyst for development in the communities we serve. Looking ahead, SM is well positioned to take advantage of the economy's momentum and potential to achieve higher growth. Government plans for investment in infrastructure, agriculture, and tourism in particular give us high confidence in expanding our presence across the country. Our core businesses continue to be market leaders, and the opportunities for expansion to serve underpenetrated areas are huge. In retail in particular, the merger of our retail assets has created the most diverse retail operations in the country and places us in a strong position to bring a wide assortment of brands and products to all the communities we serve. In banking, we are present in all segments and products, and we will continue to build our presence across the country to serve the evolving needs of our customers. In property, we will maintain our focus on integrated developments as we build on the synergies of the business and create greater economic value. In addition to our 3 core businesses, as a parent holding company, SM Investments also has the opportunity to build its portfolio investments in complementary businesses that will help us capture the high growth of the Philippine economy. We look to invest in partners with leading positions, strong management, and the potential for high growth and attractive yields. Our nascent portfolio today includes stakes in strong assets such as the City of Dreams Manila, the Net Buildings, City Malls, and others. To this end, we have also recently announced our acquisition of 34.5% in the parent company of To-Go Group. To-Go has a market-leading position in logistics and shipping and strong potential synergies with our other businesses. It is typical of the type of future investment SM is looking to make in new businesses. And we are confident that investments such as this will help SMIC to continue its strong track record of outperformance. Before closing, I would like to highlight the many awards and citations that SM Investments received in 2016. In addition to our business successes, we received awards in many areas last year, including for finance, corporate governance, transparent communications, investor engagement, and corporate social responsibility. We recognize the importance of these areas to our shareholders, and they are important to us too. SM's efforts in these areas are recognized by some of the strongest institutions in the industry, and it is gratifying that we are recognized repeatedly by many of them year after year. I would like especially to mention one award, the Management Association of the Philippines' prestigious Management Man of the Year, which this year was given to Ms. Teresita C. Coson, our Vice Chairman at SM Investments. Finally, on behalf of the board and management of SM Investments, I would like to extend our thanks to our many stakeholders, to our colleagues for their passion and hard work, to our suppliers and business partners for their dedication, to our customers for their generous support, and to you, our shareholders, for your trust and confidence. Thank you very much and good day.
Financial statement of the corporation were appended to the definitive information statement sent to all stockholders of record and included in the annual report distributed to you. Are there any questions to the annual report?
Good afternoon, Alfred Retterer, Philippine Active Shareholders Association. Congratulations to a great year again. I think SM and the shareholders are not only lucky to have good financial performance, but still the time of Mr. C. Senior, who attends shareholder meetings, which is, I think, good for all the shareholders. My question is going to future plans. Property, banking, and most of the other investments are listed in the stock exchange. You have now the biggest retail portfolio. Do you have any plans to list it also in the stock exchange?
Not at this time. We will think about it when we think that the time is right, and it will create more value to our shareholders.
Okay. ASEAN integration. Yesterday you said you're thinking about it. If you are going to expand into another country, in which field would it be? Property, retail, banking?
I guess it will be more on the property side and maybe the portfolio investment, but we're still not there yet. We're always looking to what will add values to the shareholders, so we're usually studying it, planning, but until such time that we know that it will add value, we're still not doing it.
My last question goes to the Real Estate Investment Trust. Do you believe that the new government will make it attractive to create some real estate investment trust? And does SM plan to go into this way?
We're still waiting for the new government's directive, so we don't have any ideas on where it's heading right now.
Okay, thank you so much and congratulations.
But as far as the economy is concerned, I think it may be difficult for some other people to understand, but I think we have good growth, and I think it will continue for the next few years.
Good afternoon. My name is Alfredo Parungao. I represent the Shareholders Association of the Philippines, a professional association whose main mission is the improvement of shareholder education, particularly the minority shareholders, to better appreciate the rights, duties, and responsibilities as shareholders. My question is, I would like to know if the company has considered certain business risks in the business, and if you have, if you could share with us what are these potential business risks and how the company is addressing them. Thank you.
We have a risk management team, no? So, Frank, would you like to?
In response to your question, yes, we do track certain risks in the business. However, it's a little bit lengthy, but we, overall, we do look at the overall geopolitics of the world that could impact the Philippines. We are also looking at local threats, including terrorism and natural calamities for which we are prone to. We are also looking into credit risks in the country in general, because we are a large consumer of capital, and therefore borrowing rates would impact our plans moving forward. We certainly look into corporate governance, and we are extremely committed to raising the standards all the time, and there are upcoming regulations on tightening corporate governance. So certainly we are watchful of that too, and you can see that the group has really kept pace, or in fact stayed ahead of the regulatory requirements in this area. So we could share with you. I think there are so many numerous tasks and actions that are being undertaken by various groups to address these risks. However, if I'm not able to enumerate them all for you, because it's really going to take some time. But if you would like us to engage with you on a one-on-one, we'd be happy to share them with you.
Mr. Chair, if I may add, the financial reports, it contains the financial statements, also enumerate some of the risks that we have considered, in addition to what was explained by our SVP Finance. And it's on note 29 of the audited financial statements on page 109 of the annual report. Thank you.
Yes.
Hello, good afternoon. I'm Sam Canoa, one of the stockholder in SM Investment. I'm also a stockholder in BDO and SM Prime. First of all, may I know the schedule in the other business operation in SM Malls, BDO, China Bank, this coming Friday?
This coming business operation
schedule.
I think our yes, I think our malls will be open as usual.
Okay, I thought there will be closed.
There will be rerouting of the traffic, but I'm certain that we have to be there to service all the clients, all the customers that are coming here.
Okay, about the Atlas mining, which SM Investment has also part of it. I may know if the mining review of the DNR affects the performance of Atlas Mining and SM Investment.
Mr. Ricky Dibuncio, Mr. Atlas Mining, could you please elaborate?
Actually, the DNR actually already completed its audit of the Atlas Mining operations in Cebu. They were actually there for 7 days with a lot of different people, and I'm happy to note that we've passed the audit without any issues on them. In fact, even the secretary herself visited the mine recently.
Okay, the acquisition of My Town in To Go Group, is there an approval of Philippine Competition Commission already?
Yes, for the Maitown acquisition, it was approved by the Philippine Competition Commission. For to go, the investment percentage that we acquired was actually below the threshold in the PCC.
Okay. May I know the status of the $50 billion of airport project and the expressway partner with the Ayala Corporation?
I think both projects are very much in their infancy stage, and it all depends on the government regulators when they're going to review that. So at this point, we're just waiting to hear what development will be from the government side.
I have last two questions. Suggestion. Sorry. May I have a suggestion that if there will be self-out check counters in SM hypermarkets, supermarkets, just like in other countries that has implemented it.
Check counter. We have check counter. You mean express checkout counter?
Self checkout
counters. Yes, we will take note of that, and then I will study it further.
And also I just said in the BDO annual stockholders meeting about the mobile contactless payment, which can use mobile to pay any goods in contactless payment system. Please implement in China Bank also, and E-Plus and other gift cards. And also, there's also a new news in MasterCard that there will be testing the biometric card, which there has a fingerprint scanning also, but there's also a chip card.
Yes, I agree with you that we are going more and more into this technology for retailing and for banking, and we will embrace it, and we'll take note of all your suggestions. Thank you very much.
I mean, also congrats the SM Investment for the company is the big gain company, one of the companies that has a big gain yesterday in the Philippine Stock Exchange. So congrats again for yesterday, and good luck for more days and years to come for the SM groups. Thank you very much.
Thank you too, and we hope that you stay being a shareholder and buy some more shares.
I'm just 24 years old, you know.
Okay.
So I'm happy to see you, Ma'am Teresita, Henry C. Jr., Harley C., and Mr. Chairman Henry C. Sr. I'm glad to see you again.
Okay.
And thank you.
Big or small, we appreciate everything.
Thank you.
Okay, let's. If there are no questions, there's no more questions. There's two questions. Okay.
My name is Stephen Sullivan, a stockholder. I've read from the news that a fire incident happened somewhere in Cubao about our branch. Now, may I know whether our properties are adequately insured and where we be able to recover this, the benefits? Thank you.
Yes, it's properly insured. Next question, please.
Recently, you disclosed about your interest in building a Sangli Airport. Are you still interested for the future growth of the Philippine economy?
Mr. Ricky Dibuncio.
Yeah, that's actually a project which another subsidiary, Bell, is looking into. And like I mentioned earlier, I mean, we have been speaking to the government about that, and we're just waiting for any development from their side.
Thank you.
Okay. If there are no other questions, the chair will entertain the motion to approve the annual report.
Mr. Chairman, I am Kathleen Maytoason, holding proxy for Sharon Ong King. I move that the annual report be approved and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of said motion.
Mr. Chairman, I am Retzel Musni, holding proxy for Maribel Chua. I second the motion.
Upon duly made and seconded, the annual report is hereby approved. The next order of business is the ratification of the acts of the Board of Directors, its committees, and the management from April 29, 2015 up to the date of this meeting.
Mr. Chair, I am Gino Uy, holding proxies for Mr. Rolando San Diego, and I move for the ratification of all acts of the board, its committees, and management starting from April 27, 2016 up to the date of this meeting, and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of such approval.
Mr. Chair, I'm Tef Gandia, representing Three Angels Holdings, and I second the motion.
Is there any objection to the motion? There being no objection and the motion having been made and duly seconded, the acts of the Board of Directors, its committees, and management during their terms of office are hereby ratified. The next item in the agenda is the election of directors. In accordance with the corporation's bylaw, the Corporate Governance Committee has pre-screened and shortlisted all candidates qualified and nominated to the Board of Directors. May we now ask the Chairman of the Nomination Committee, Mr. Adu Lim, to enumerate all nominees qualified to be elected to the Board.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Pursuant to the Corporation's bylaw, the Corporate Governance Committee pre-screened and qualified for election to the Board of Directors for the years 2017 to 2018 the following nominees: Ms. Teresita T. C., Mr. Henry T. C. Jr., Mr. Hari T., Mr. Jose T. Xio, Mr. Frederick Dibuncio, Mr. Joseph R. Hidden as Independent Director, Ms. Tomasa H. Lipina as Independent Director, and Mr. Alfredo E. Pasqua as Independent Director.
Mr. Chair, I move that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of the said nominees and that all aforementioned nominees be elected to the Board of Directors.
Mr. Chair, I second the motion.
The motion having been made and duly seconded, all unqualified votes are cast equally in favor of the nominees who are thus declared elected to your Board of Directors for the year 2017 to 2018. Congratulations to the new Board of Directors for 2017 to 2018. Let us welcome the elected director with a warm round of applause. At this juncture, on behalf of the company, I would like to thank Mr. Adu Lim for having been part of SMIC team as one of our independent directors for the past 9 years. Thank you, Mr. Adu Lim, for your dedication and invaluable stewardship. So, thank you, Mr. Adu.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It is my honor and pleasure to sit on the board of SMIC the last 9 years, to see the growth of the company. I'm very sure that the company will continue to grow under the leadership of the C family and the senior management. And I wish the company all the best. Thank you.
The next item in the agenda is the appointment of external auditor. The Audit Committee has accepted nominations for external auditor. The Audit Committee has pre-screened and recommends the current external auditor, Sisip Gores Velayo and Company, for reappointment as external auditor. The Chair will now entertain a motion for the approval of the recommendation of the Audit Committee for the reappointment of Sisip Gores Velayo and Company as the corporation's external auditor for the ensuing year.
Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the recommendation to appoint CSIP Gores Valayo & Co. as the external auditor of the company for the year 2017 to 2018, and that all unqualified votes be cast in favor of such approval.
Mr. Chair, I second the motion.
Is there any objection? There being no objection, the motion is carried. CSIP Gores Valayo & Company is reappointed external auditor for the corporation for the year 2017 to 2018. Ladies and gentlemen, we had the regular board meeting earlier today, and I'm pleased to announce that your board has approved the declaration of the cash dividend equivalent to 30% of the 2016 net income, or a total amount of 9,361,290,487 peso. This is equivalent to 7 peso and 77 centavos per share in favor of all stockholders of record as of May 11, 2017, and payable on May 25, 2017. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also very pleased to announce on behalf of the Board of Directors that Mr. Henry C. Sr., the founder of the SM Group, will be bestowed the title Chairman Emeritus to honor the man and what he had done for the company. Mr. C., father to us 6 siblings, had a vision for a progressive Philippines. He wanted to improve the lives of Filipinos. He opened the first Shoe Mart store in 1958, and in 60 years, it had become one of the largest conglomerates, if not the largest, in the country, with strong leadership positions in retail, property, and banking industries. He made SM one of the most trusted brands in the country today. His values of integrity, hard work, accountability, leadership and innovation, and sustainability are at the heart of everything we do. At SM, as Chairman Emeritus, Mr. C will continue to inspire us to reach new heights, to grow with the country, and to seek new opportunities, to serve our customers in the best way we can. Thank you, Mr. C. And also, Mrs. C, please stand up. For this final item in the agenda, called Other Matters, Mr. Secretary, is there any other matters which may properly be taken up by the stockholders at this meeting?
Mr. Chair, just want to clarify something.
Yes, please.
On the resolution earlier with the appointment of the external auditor, just to clarify that the year is 2017, but obviously their work will extend up to early 2018 for the audit of 2017 financial statements.
Okay, point taken.
Thank you.
Point noted. Okay, so let's proceed to the other matters.
Mr. Chairman, there are no other matters that may be taken up during today's meeting.
There being no other matters, in the agenda, the chair will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mr. Chairman, I move that this annual meeting be adjourned.
I second the motion, Mr. Chair.
Okay. The meeting now is adjourned, and thank you for your attendance.